11th meeting of the School Board of Charlotte County is hereby called to order. Here in Charlotte County, we will achieve our vision of student success through our mission. We will provide an innovative educational environment that allows and inspires success for everyone. To lead us in the pledge to our flag, we are thrilled to have in the room tonight Sheriff Bill Cameron and Sheriff-elect and Leadership Charlotte 2011 co-classmate of mine, Bill Promell. So if you two would come up and lead us in the pledge, we'd be honored. Thank you. Please stand and join us. The microphone's good. Thanks.
Please join us in the pledge to our flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. And Mr. Promell, that's how, you have to be ready no matter what they call you for. At this time, I would like to take a moment of silence in recognition of those persons who, September 11th, as you all know, is a day in history for this country, and so I'd like to take a moment of silence in honor of those people who lost their lives on September 11th. Thank you. Mr. Superintendent, do we have any additions or corrections to tonight's agenda?
We do. We have one addition this evening, and that is J2H, Personnel Addendum Number 1.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It has been, now, Teresa, do you need me to say the names of who it's moved for this one? Okay. It's been moved and seconded that we approve the addition of Personnel Addendum J2H. Is there any board discussion? Seeing none, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? The motion carries unanimously. I'd also like to note that we are 2 board members short tonight. I'm aware that you all can figure that out. But just so that you know, Mr. Swift is actually meeting probably in the next half an hour. He has been invited to a special audience with the governor on his listening tour about education. So we're hoping that he has some success there tonight. And Mrs. Rendell had to be out of town. Mr. Superintendent, the next item on the agenda are reports, and the first one is the Energy Star Plaque honorees.
The Energy Star Plaque honorees, and I'm going to ask Mr. Gene Spur and whoever Gene wants to bring with him to the podium for this presentation. Board members will stay put for right now. We'll go down with the next presentation.
Thank you very much. I'll ask the schools to come down and pick up their plaques after I'm done with the speech.
Okay.
Madam Chair, school board members, Dr. Whitaker, we're here tonight to talk about the Energy Star and the 3 schools that are receiving Energy Star plaques. Energy Star is a joint program of the United States Environmental Protection Agency and the United States Department of Energy, helping us all save money and protect the environment through energy-efficient products and practices. In 1992, the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency introduced Energy Star as a voluntary labeling program designed to identify and promote energy-efficient products to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Computers and monitors were the first labeled products. Through 1995, the EPA expanded the label to include office equipment products, residential heating, and cooling equipment. In 1996, EPA partnered with the U.S. Department of Energy for particular product categories. The Energy Star label is now on major appliances, office equipment, lighting, home electronics. Through its partnership with more than 20,000 private and public sector organizations, Energy Star delivers the technical information and tools that organizations and consumers need to choose energy-efficient solutions and best management practices. Energy Star has successfully delivered energy and cost savings across the country, saving businesses, organizations, and consumers about $18 billion in 2010 alone. As a school official, you probably know that the energy bill to run Americans' primary and secondary schools is a staggering $6 billion, more than is spent on textbooks and computers combined. What you may not know is that the least efficient schools use 3 times more energy than the best energy performers, and top performing Energy Star label schools cost 40 cents per square foot less to operate than their average performers. So with that said, I would like to present these certificates to the board, along with the plaques for the school. Receiving their 3rd Energy Star plaque, Sally Jones, I'd like to have Jenny Hope, principal, and David Chokin, the head custodian, step up for the plaque. And as we all know, it's the occupants in the school. It's the principal, it's the staff, it's the students, and it's buy-in from all those folks that make this work. The second school also receiving their third Energy Star plaque is Liberty Elementary School, and Principal Tom Gifford is here, and head custodian Bill Spellman. And the third plaque, and receiving it for the second time, is L.A. Ainger Middle School, and Assistant Principal David Quackenbush is here.
Thank you.
Our second report this evening is our SRO recognition. I'm going to ask Mr. Steve Cummings if he would come forward. Board members, if you would join me down front.
Madam Chairman, board members, and Mr. Superintendent. Today on 9/11, the anniversary of a worst terrorist attack in this country's history, seems fitting at a time to recognize our SROs for not only as a role of law enforcement officers, but also as leaders and role models for our students and staff. Through their training and dedication, should the unthinkable occur at one of our campuses, our SROs are prepared to run to the fire as others run away. Although our SRO function is often thought of as primarily law enforcement and security functions, they are involved in much, much more. This evening, we are here to recognize the Charlotte County Sheriff's Office SRO unit for their work in our schools. The SRO currently Charlotte County Sheriff's Office currently supplies 11 SROs to our county schools, 7 deputies, 1 each to each secondary school and alternative program, with 2 SROs floating through our elementary schools. Additionally, a corporal and a sergeant round out the unit as supervisors. Earlier this summer at the FASRO conference, Florida Association for School Resource Officers, our SRO unit received the Agency of the Year Award for their work in Charlotte County Public Schools. All law enforcement agencies throughout the state that provide SROs are eligible for this award. Our SRO unit, their mission statement for last year was building a better community, one student at a time. The goal of the unit for each SRO to give back to the community by developing programs to their schools that developed and promoted not only public service but leadership to our students. The premier program that was developed by the SRO unit that gave back was a Ross program, or Respect Our Schools. The program was implemented in our secondary schools. Students applied to participate, and they were chosen by their peers. Components of the program included reporting unsafe conditions or incidents, anti-bullying awareness, leadership development, and inspiring civic duty, and developing, instilling, and maintaining ethics among all students. Each Ross team consisted of approximately 30 students who worked with their SRO to give back on their own time. Thousands of community service hours were logged by both students and our SROs. Type of projects that were included in these community service projects: public beach cleanups, Christmas caroling at retirement homes, and helping maintain the grounds at local hospice, homes, and centers. Further, our SROs and their students met weekly to brainstorm ideas that make up schools and community and make it a better place for them to live. One project that was developed in this process was Feed a Teen in Need and Do a Good Deed. In conjunction with Kabali Foods, a food pantry project was developed. Students were encouraged to confidentially identify other Charlotte County students and their families who were in need of food. SROs and their students collected, distributed on Saturdays, and developed unique ways to distribute foods to these recipients where they were not embarrassed. Our SROs were involved in many other activities and clearly went above and beyond their normal responsibilities. Some of those activities included donating clothes to needy students, the Positive Reward Program where students receive prizes for good behavior, the Chick-fil-A seatbelt program where high school students receive coupons for wearing seatbelts, the Fresh Start program where at-risk students were introduced to the possible consequences for criminal behavior through visits with the courts and the county jail, the Police Athletic League, and focused on mentoring and recreational activities. Safety and community policing programs, DARE, and cyber safety presentations were all other activities that our SROs participated in. The Bully Academy, where our students competed with other students across the nation in anti-bullying activities. Charlotte County students reportedly placed 4th in the nation in these activities. Clearly, Charlotte County Public Schools is fortunate to be associated with law enforcement professionals such as these SROs. Therefore, in appreciation for their service and commitment to our students and staff, I would like to recognize each SRO with a certificate at this time. But before I do that, I would like to acknowledge some Charlotte County Sheriff's Office command staff that are here. Already we know that Bill Cameron and Sheriff-elect Bill Permel are here. They've done the Pledge of Allegiance. Also here is Mark Caro, Major Mark Caro. Lieutenant Darrell Capro is here. And with that, I'd like to go ahead and pass out these certificates. All right. When I call your name, if you just come up and then be recognized by the board. First one we have is DFC Kathy Blevins. DFC stands for Deputy First Class. DFC Rhonda Ellsworth. DFC April Strachek. DFC David Sonny. DFC Joella Moore. Oh, but she's not here. We'll have to get that to her later. DFC Carla Williams. DFC Lynn Nix. DFC Mike Burkhart. DFC Larry Langston. Corporal Paul Guyton. And finally, Sergeant Catherine Stewart. Thank you, board members.
Let's give our SROs another big hand. Next on the agenda is recognition of our students, 5 students, who not only received a perfect score on the FCAT, earned and achieved 2 perfect scores on our FCAT. Now, let me put this into perspective for you. We have about 9,000 students in Charlotte County that take the FCAT reading and math every year. Of that number, about 120 students got a perfect score on either reading or math. And that's quite an accomplishment. These are very challenging on-grade level tests that in order to get the perfect score, they have to answer questions that are several grade levels above the level they're currently in. Of those 120 plus kids who had a perfect score, we had 5 that had perfect scores on both reading and math, and we're recognizing them tonight. So Karen and Carmel. Karen Laporte, who's our Director of Secondary Learning, and Carmel Kissadeh, who's our Director of Elementary Learning, are going to do these presentations.
Thank you, Dr. Whitaker, Madam Chairman, and members of our school board. Karen Laporte, Director of Secondary Learning, and I are very excited to be here representing the Division of Learning to recognize and celebrate the successes of 5 of our Charlotte County Public School students.
My portion was to talk about the data, which Dr. Whitaker did so well. So that made it simple, but we're just incredibly impressed with these young students, and 2 of them will be from middle school. So middle school gets a little bit more academic in that the math high flyers take algebra as 8th graders. So one of the students actually got a perfect score on the algebra end of course exam given to 9th and 10th graders across the state. Unbelievable, huh? On top of the FCAT reading that she also took.
Alrighty, and as Mrs. Laporte and I were preparing this presentation this evening, we came across one of our favorite books, and we thought that reading the first 2 pages from this book to those 5 students who are out there, and they know who they are, and they will be recognized more formally by their school principals in just a few minutes. We thought that reading these 2 pages would be appropriate. So, our favorite book being Oh, the Places You'll Go by Dr. Seuss. So listen carefully. Oh, the places you'll go. Congratulations. Today is your day. You're off to great places. You're off and away. You have brains in your head. You have feet in your shoes. You can steer yourself any direction you choose. You're on your own, and you know what you know. And you are the guy who'll decide where to go. So boys and girls, congratulations. Continue to reach for the stars. You can be anything you want to be and do anything you want to do. Just continue down that path towards success. What you've accomplished is fabulous. Keep up the great work. So at this time, what I would like to do is introduce the elementary principals one at a time who will recognize the student from their school, and we'll start with Bertie Alvarez from Deep Creek Elementary.
Good evening. It's with great pride and pleasure that I give this award to Alora Bachman, who received a perfect score in reading and mathematics on the FCAT comprehensive test. And Alora is not only a leader in academics, but Alora is a leader that she should be very proud in her social circle as well. So congratulations, Alora, on this achievement.
Alrighty, Mrs. Carney, would you like to come on forward, please, from my Acker River Elementary?
Good evening. I've asked 2 of my colleagues to join us this evening. One is Linda Ware, who is Trinity Angelo's teacher right now in 4th grade, and I'm going to ask her to share a little bit about Trinity.
Hi, Hi, I teach fourth grade, and right now Trinity is currently in my classroom, and I am extremely fortunate to have her as my student this year. She is a very special young lady. She displays leadership qualities each and every day in the classroom by showing responsibility and following through with all of her assignments and work. She is very full of curiosity and asks me very challenging questions on a daily basis, so she keeps me on my toes also. She is very kind, helpful, and thoughtful, which makes her very popular with her peers and very well liked. She is involved in community activities. Just a few weekends ago, I was able to watch her win first place in the Pioneer Day Chalk Sidewalk Contest, which made me very proud. And she is very kind and generous. She has a nature that makes her wonderful and a great kid to teach. And her mom and dad also should be very commended for raising such a wonderful girl.
And also a message from Angie Ramsden. Angie was her third grade teacher. Although I cannot be here this evening to recognize her, I want to say a few words about this amazing little girl. Trinity Angela was a joy to have in my third grade classroom last year. She is smart, funny, witty, and energetic. Her spunk and sense of humor make our room more interesting each day. She always has an idea to share, an opinion of her own that she was never afraid to express, which I loved. She is confident in herself, which made her a good leader and role model. She would never let anyone walk all over her, that's for sure. Trinity is very well-rounded, which I feel has to do with why she is so successful in the classroom. She always puts first things first, no matter what she's doing. She challenges herself and doesn't give up until she has something right. Her passion and confidence were admirable. I know Trinity is being recognized for her perfect FCAT scores, which is amazing, but I truly believe that being such a well-rounded person is what got Trinity those scores. She is athletic, social, involved in the community, and a good student. She is an example that we use for other students to prove that sharpening the saw, beginning with the end in mind, and putting first things first is what will make you succeed. I'm very proud of you, Trinity, and will never forget the year you spent with me in third grade. Always stay confident in yourself, and you will be anything that you want to be. Now, I do have one just surprise for Trinity. In this time when we talk about teachers, and they're very much in the news, especially this week, I think it's a very important thing to encourage our brightest and our finest leaders to be teachers and to pursue a career in education. So I'm offering you the opportunity to shadow the principal of the school for a day and to see what it's like to go around and see all the wonderful teaching that goes on at Myakka River Elementary. And I hope you'll accept that. Congratulations.
Alrighty. Mr. Ron Regala, who is the principal of Kingsway Elementary School, could not be here this evening, so I have the honor and privilege of calling up Miss Megan Craig, fourth grader from Kingsway Elementary. Megan, please come on forward. And I had a chance to just speak with her a few minutes ago, and if I'm not mistaken, that entire row belongs to her. Is that correct? So that is very exciting. Congratulations. Thank you.
Wave to all your. All right, it's exciting. Unfortunately, I don't believe our two middle school students are here, but I do have Assistant Principal Dave Quackenbush. Please come on up. He's going to read their certificate names. We don't have to clap for him. He didn't do anything great. No, I'm just kidding. No, I really wish the kids were here because I'm just so proud of them. Can you imagine what these kids have inside of them? So please give them our best wishes from everyone here tomorrow.
Absolutely, we'll do that. It is my pleasure and honor to, if she was here, to present to Michaela Smith this certificate for scoring a perfect score in FCAT 2.0 reading and FCAT 2.0 math. It's also my pleasure to recognize Skylar McVaney. She scored a perfect score in FCAT 2.0 reading and Algebra 1. I'm sorry?
What school did I say?
LA Angel Middle School.
While we have our celebrated guests leaving, if there is anyone who wishes to address the board tonight during any of our public comment times, there are comment cards in the back. Ms. Buck, could you kind of point to where the comment cards are up there in the back, right there? Thank you. And if you'll just fill that out and get it to our recording secretary over here, Mrs. Dow, will be able to call on you when that time comes. Thank you. Next item on the agenda, Mr. Superintendent, is old business. Do we have any tonight?
No, we do not.
Did not think so. Then we will recess our regular school board meeting and call the public hearing to order for purposes of discussing our budget. Mr. Superintendent.
I'm pleased to bring to you tonight for public hearing our district required local effort for this year, which is a millage rate of 5.1640, our discretionary millage of 0.7480, our capital improvement millage 1.5000, and our prior period funding adjustment of 0.0790. Those are the millage rates for the 2012-2013 fiscal year. I'm also bringing for public hearing our district budget for 2012-2013, and I'm asking our Chief Financial Officer, Mr. Greg Greiner, if he would come up and present this budget to you this evening.
Thank you, Mr. Greiner. We appreciate your work. We know that this is the 15th time you've presented on the budget, perhaps, through workshops and other board presentations. So thank you for coming again tonight.
Okay. Good evening, Madam Chairman, Dr. Whitaker, members of the board. It's my privilege to present to you the 2012-13 budget. For anybody that's interested, yes, let's bring the mic. For anyone that's interested, there are hard copies of the book that are available on the counter. In addition, the budget will be accessible on the Charlotte County Public Schools website. I'm going to do a short presentation tonight, some of which Dr. Whitaker just discussed as we move forward into this hearing. For this coming year, we're going to issue our levy millages of 7.491 mils. That's an increase of 0.147 mils, approximately 2% increase. And that millage increase is associated with prior period funding adjustment millage levy, as well as a required local effort. The board doesn't really have any control over those that are set by the state. The two items that you do have control of, the discretionary and the capital, are the same as they were in the prior years. Overall, our budget has several components to it in terms of the funds that we have. Primarily, our largest fund is our general revenue fund. Approximately 53% of the total budget is accounted for within that fund. This year, only about 18% of our budget is in capital projects, which is actually the lowest percentage of our budget in many years. the revenues of the district across all funds, approximately 66% of our revenues come from local sources. This year we'll have revenues approximating $177 million across all those funds. But as you can see, they're primarily local revenues, much of which is local taxes. When we look at the general fund in specific, a little bit higher percentage local, 68%, and you can see there's virtually no federal money involved in the general fund. There are just the two major components, which is primarily local property taxes as well as the state contribution under the FEFP program. This coming year, our appropriations by function are $121,675,586. The majority of that is in direct instructional cost. The next largest grouping is student support functions, which has about 11% of the total, followed by 10%, which is the operation of plant. There are other smaller functions that are involved as well, but this coming year, $121 million is our budget total. When you turn around and look at those same expenditures on an object basis rather than a functional basis, you can see that 64% is tied up in salaries, with another 20 in employee benefits. For roughly $101 million of our general fund dollars are going to be spent for employee salaries and benefits in this upcoming year. When we look at the general revenue fund, budget versus actual for last year and this year, you can see our budget was approximately $115,470,000 in revenues, of which we actually received about $115,235,000, less than $300,000 difference. As you can see also for the 12-13 budget, we're anticipating about $5 million more in revenues than we did in the prior year. When we look at the appropriation side, the chart looks a little different. You can see the 11-12 appropriation budget was $125 million. We actually only spent just over $123 million. So we came in about $2.8 million under budget in our expenditures. And for next year, the 12-13 budget is about $4 million less than we have in last year's budget. When you bring those two charts together, you can see that in the 12-13 year, our budget gap narrows between our revenues and appropriations. As we know, based on the last 3 or 4 years and the situation that we've been in economically, we knew we were spending some of that fund balance in the last few years. We're now getting to the point where we're back to basically an even match between revenues and appropriations, and we anticipate the same going forward. How has that actually impacted our general fund balance? As you can see, we started with a nice balance there in pink during the year. That was the beginning balance of roughly 16.5. Came down, budgeted, we were budgeting 6.8. We ended with 5.7 for an undesignated balance of $6 million in the general fund. For next year, you can see the smaller set of bars there represents a smaller beginning balance of 8.7 with an ending fund balance of approximately 7.5 million, of which about 6.3 is undesignated. When we move on to special revenues, we're anticipating a budget this year of approximately $26 million. It's broken out into 4 major categories. And when you look at it on a functional basis, our direct instructional is about 23%, student support functions another 24%, with basically a third being represented in the food service funds. The next major set of funds are our capital project appropriations. We're going to be appropriating $41,850,000 this year. The majority of that is for buildings and fixed equipments, and that is about $22.5 million that will be spent dealing with the rebuild of Lemon Bay High School. That's virtually all of those dollars are local dollars, as we get virtually no state money for capital projects. That's basically the end of the presentation, and I'd be willing to answer any questions that you might have about the detailed book that you received earlier or anything dealing with the presentation.
Any questions for Mr. Greiner? Mr. Vincent?
Not so much a question, but Mr. Greiner, I just wanted to say, I said this to you last time. It is amazing that you've managed to put this ridiculously complex budget into 13 slides that anyone can look at and understand how we're spending our money. And Looking at the past year versus this year, it's great information. I just can't thank you enough. It's simplified it. I know that my first year, before I was even sitting at this seat, when I came to the budget meeting, all we had was that book and a whole bunch of tables, and my head spun. So I just can't thank you enough for putting it into this form for us.
Any other board discussion? I'm looking at your capital project appropriations, and one of the earlier slides, you had the entire budget and which portion was capital, and I remember when it was almost 50% after the hurricane, and we had all those replacement, they were special funds, of course, but I remember when we had almost equitable to the operating with the capital, so we've really come a long way, and that means we've gotten a lot of things done, so good thing. Are there any citizens who wish to comment on the budget? Mrs. Dow? Okay. Then if there's no objection, we will close. Oh, I'm sorry. I do have a citizen that wishes. Nope, not on the budget? Okay. Then if there's no objection, we will close the public hearing on the budget, and we will resume the regular hearing. Mr. Superintendent, we're going to go two separate motions. The first motion is going to be for the required local effort discretionary cap, the millage rates.
So this evening I am requesting school board approval of our required local effort of 5.1640 mils, discretionary of 0.7480 mils, capital improvement of 1.5000 mils, and prior period funding adjustment of 0.079 mils for the 2012-2013 school year.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It has been moved and seconded that we approve the required local effort millage rate, discretionary capital, and prior funding adjustment millage rates as read into the record by the superintendent. Any board discussion? Most of these, as Mr. Greiner indicated, are kind of hand down through the state, but all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries unanimously. Next, Mr. Superintendent, we're going to be looking for a recommended action on the district proposed budget for 12-13 year.
And I'm also requesting school board approval for the district budget for the 2012-2013 school year.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the budget for the 12-13 school year. Is there any board discussion? Mrs. Miller.
Yes, I just want to ditto Ian in his comments. I was thinking the similar thing, and it's so easy to read, and truly appreciate it. Thank you.
And I don't want there to be any mistake. Simply because the passing of the budget is easy at this meeting doesn't mean we haven't had months and a year of really hashing things out and cutting back in areas and prioritizing and hashing out and prioritizing again. And it's easy today, but it hasn't been easy for many, many months. So all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. So we are now going to recess the board meeting and call the second public hearing to order for purposes of the student progression plan, Mr. Superintendent.
And I'm pleased to be bringing to the board tonight for public hearing changes in our student code of conduct and student progression plan to include just one more way to reach our kids that are struggling to complete high school. We have done in the past and continue to do just a great job in reaching out to the kids who are on the brink of dropping out or who actually drop out, and we go out and retrieve them and bring them back. And we've added just one more tool to that toolbox to reach several dozens of our kids that might otherwise just simply disappear from our view. So we're bringing this forward and making changes in the appropriate documents to accommodate this new program.
Any questions? Are there any citizens who wish to speak on the Code of Conduct Student Progression Plan update? Mrs. Dowd, do we have anyone on that? Okay, thank you. Then if there's no objection, we will close the public hearing. Seeing none, resuming the regular meeting, and we will seek board action on the progression plan amendment update. Mr. Superintendent.
The Division of School Support is requesting school board approval for the updated changes to the Student Code of Conduct and the Student Progression Plan as presented to you this evening.
So moved.
Second.
It has been moved and seconded that we approve the Student Progression Plan update as presented. Board discussion. I realize we had a workshop on this, and where's Mrs. Laporte? I saw her earlier. I know you were part of that conversation at the workshop to present this, and we really do appreciate your leadership in addressing students who have some challenges and helping to meet their needs, so thanks for that. Further board discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that motion carries unanimously. Now we shall move on to new business, the consent agenda.
I'm bringing to the board tonight for their approval all of the items listed on the consent agenda. Many of these we have workshopped. Others are sort of perfunctory kinds of items, and I'm requesting school board approval of the consent agenda for you this evening.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the consent agenda as presented this evening. Any board discussion? Just wanted to make mention the out-of-state travel. If you didn't notice, those are the first two for Port Charlotte High School's world-renowned, award-winning Model United Nations program. They're starting their traveling tour. So here, those items are on the agenda.
We're running out of adjectives.
Yeah, exactly, I know. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, that motion carries unanimously. Next item is, we have some guests in the building tonight for the item Charlotte Local Education Foundation, acceptance of the Board of Trustees and officers and their operating budget. Mr. Superintendent.
I'm pleased to bring this item to you this evening, and I don't know who all is going to do this. I'm going to call on Chris Beers, president of CLEF. Mary Fred, are you participating, or is this Chris's show?
And Dick Rupert from
and Richard, so it's all yours, Chris.
You bet. Madam Chair, honorable school board members, and Superintendent Whitaker and Attorney Young. Thank you. The Charlotte Local Education Foundation appreciates the opportunity to partner with you in efforts to make our public schools and education better and a high-performing school district, as it says. On behalf of the Board of Directors of the Charlotte Local Education Foundation, our Executive Director, staff, and volunteers, we thank you for what you do to make our public schools the best performing throughout the state and our students among the highest achievers in the state. We are, as you may or may not know, or the public doesn't know, our inception was in 1996 as the Charlotte Local Education Foundation, known as CLEF. And since then, we have had over 100 students travel through our Take Stock in Children program, which is a scholarship, Florida prepaid scholarship that will take an 8th grader into our program, mentor them through high school, and give them 4 years of Florida college education. We also operate the Teacher Depot and the Teacher of the Year and Student and Support Employee of the Year programs as our primary objectives to bring together classrooms, community, and children is our mission. With that, we do request that you approve our budget and our board, and Mr. Dick Rupert from the Suncoast Schools is going to talk to you about our budget real quick.
Thank you, Chris.
Welcome.
Madam Chairman.
This is a new role you're playing tonight.
It is, and it's a new experience for me, so bear with me. But it is my pleasure to be here and to present this year's budget for the board's consideration. This year's budget of $235,430 represents an increase of approximately 12% over last year's budget. It also represents an increase of approximately 9% from the actual past year's revenues and expenditures. On behalf of the CLEF board, I would like to express our appreciation to the school board and the district for the in-kind services, administration, and occupancy in the amount of $24,000. I think it's also important that we express our appreciation to Jeff Laura, CPA, for providing bookkeeping and financial accounting for over the past 10 years.
As I mentioned, the budget is an increase, and we primarily account for this based on, maybe I'll toot our horn a little, based on, I think we have a very active board and our executive director. And I think this is the reason that we feel that the budget that we are presenting is a realistic budget. I'm also proud to report that for the 5th consecutive year, we've had a clean audit. And probably my last comment before I turn it back over to Chris is that I'm, again, extremely proud to say that we are close now to a $1 million foundation based on the funds that have been set aside for prepaid scholarships. And I just think that's a wonderful thing that we've been able to help this many students, and will continue to be able to help them. Thank you.
Thank you.
And one last thing, again, we are proud to help serve in this in the public school system and with you, and we'll do our best to continue that $1 million foundation and grow it even more. We'd also like to mention a little plug for a couple events that are coming up to the public. We are doing a 5K run in December that everyone should get involved in. And we also have a spelling bee contest for everybody in Charlotte County that will be going in October.
When you say everybody, you mean adults and children?
It is adult.
It is adult spelling bee.
Really?
Yes. We'd like to see you there. And so with that being said, we do ask for your approval of our budget.
T-H-E-R-E. Did you use it in a sentence? Questions for Mr. Beers or Mr. Rupert?
I just
Mr. Vincent.
want to say a couple things. Chris, you stole my thunder because I was going to plug the spelling bee in the 5K.
Okay.
You know, everyone here knows how near and dear Clef is to me. It was actually the first education-related board that I became a part of. It's a lot of what spurred me to why I'm sitting here today. And the work that you guys do, and not everybody's here, but you know how I feel. It is a unpaid position that requires a lot of work, and the time that you put in, what I've seen, the way I've seen it grow over the past year and a half. In government, most of the time you don't like to see budgets go up. In this organization, budgets go up because we're working hard. We're bringing in more revenue from the community. The 5K, who knew that? You know, who thought of a 5K? And now we're doing it. It's going to be a scholarship for a kid. So I just have to go once again. Thank you guys so very much. It's a great relationship we have, and we're going to keep it going. So thank you.
And thank you for your service to our board.
I was going to say, I'd like to see their budget double or triple, because that's twice or 3 times as many kids getting scholarships.
Yeah.
So,
Exactly.
That's right.
yeah. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Mr. Superintendent, recommendation.
I am recommending that the board approve this evening the Board of Trustees for CLEF as well as the CLEF budget.
Actually, I'm going to just make an editorial correction here. We want to accept because they're a direct support organization, we don't approve their budget, we just accept it. So.
Yes. So I'm recommending board acceptance
Thank you.
of the budget this evening.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we accept the Board of Trustees and Officers and the CLEF operating budget for 2012-2013. Is there any board discussion? Great work. We appreciate what you do. Thank you for supporting our classrooms and our students, because you do the mini grants and some of those other things as well. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And that motion carries. Thank you very much. Next item, final drawings for Lemon Bay High School Phase 5. Mr. Superintendent.
Yes, we are at Phase 5.
Mr. Vincent wants to know how many phases we're going to have.
We're at 28, 29. No. We have 6, I believe. Is that correct, Jack? Very good. So I'm going to invite Jack Williams to the podium. Jerry or Jean? Jean?
Good to see Mr. Silver here as well and his team.
Yes.
Jack, good to see you back in town.
Yeah.
Just quickly, you'll notice that we've actually gone electronic also. Remember before?
Appreciate that. Thanks so much.
Yes.
We'll let Jack, since he's lead architect.
I speak on behalf of the board when I say I appreciate that, and mostly Ian.
Oh, okay. Okay. Good evening. I'm very pleased to be here tonight to present our final documents for Phase 5 of Lemon Bay High School. And I'll briefly review the scope of the project. As indicated on our master site plan, the shaded area indicates the limits of our Phase 5 building. And just for a little background, as everyone may know, Phase 3 was our 3-story building and gymnasium. Phase 4 is our cafeteria and our black box, which is currently under construction. Phase 5 will move across the courtyard for construction of the new administration and media center. In addition to the building, we will be providing a new courtyard. Also, the parking will be expanded. The current student parking to the north is a part of Phase 4, but actually the parking to the Performing Arts Center at the west and down by Placida will be a part of this phase as well.
Jack, do you have a little red thing on there?
Oh, yeah.
Can you show me what parking you're referring to?
Actually, this parking here and this parking along the Placida will be a part of this phase.
Okay.
The remainder of that will be as a part of the Phase 6 improvements.
And that's the fenced-in kind of area near the bus ramp that we're talking about, that last one.
That's correct. Okay. That's correct. With regards to the floor plan of the building, give you an idea of what we'll be providing in this building. It's about 54,000 square feet on this first floor. We'll have a reception, a new front door to the campus, a new guidance, clinic, and social worker. Moving forward, we'll also have the administrative suite. And as a part of this phase, we'll also have some new classrooms. We have 4 new classrooms that are flanking the proposed new media center, which will be overlooking the new courtyard. Traveling to the south, then we'll have our labs, which will include our infotech lab, CCTV, 2 art labs, which will share an art patio, as well as tech study labs, drafting and graphics with its outside patio. Again, this is about 54,000 square feet. There will be a second floor, which will be for a future. At this point, it'll be a shelled in. As you see, we actually have locations for which will be future stairwells. So again, the second floor would be a future 9th grade house once your growth permits.
And can I ask a quick question? The art labs, is that where the current media footprint is?
Approximately. I think both between the art as well as our new admin, it replaces the existing media center as well as the admin, which will be demolished as a part of this phase. Moving on to the exterior of the building, keeping to the same theme that we developed architecturally with the metal roofs and some of the details that go with that. Our brick exterior, our precast, again, continuing that theme, providing a new front door to the facility as well as beginning to develop that courtyard that will connect to the Performing Arts Center and back to the rest of the campus. And so in conclusion, that's basically the overall scope of the project. I'd be happy to answer any of your questions.
Questions for Mr. Williams?
Just the one, this is the question people will ask me. When is this going to happen?
Well, now that once we receive approval to move forward,
Assuming
we anticipate that we would bring a GMP to the board in December with work starting over the Christmas break and whatnot moving forward after we've turned over the new cafeteria and band chorus area.
So move-in date of, that was what
okay.
you were trying to avoid, I know, and I'm
Well,
pushing on that.
Anticipated move-in date of Phase 5 would be roughly June, July of 2014.
Okay,
Approximately an 18-month job.
gotcha. Other questions? It's an exciting project.
Yes, it is.
All right, superintendent recommendation.
Now, you know, if you had asked Roseanne that question, you would have gotten no date at all.
I do.
Is that right?
Yeah.
the future.
Yeah. It
And
will be,
Mr.
it will
Olivo
be
may
done
wish
when
that
it's
Mr. Spur
done.
did not give us a date.
Thank you, Jerry.
You couldn't even squeeze a ballpark date out of Roseanne. District Support Services is requesting approval of the final drawings for Lemon Bay High School Phase 5, the Administrative Wing and Media Center.
I am happy to make that motion.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve final drawings, Phase 5. Any board discussion? I will just simply mention that at open house this year at Lemon Bay, those of you who are the construction and the architecture team, and I'm following my son's schedule, it's a whole different world out there at Lemon Bay, up and down and way over and back. And I was tardy one time, and the teacher chastised me in front of everyone. I just don't know how. It's much bigger than it used to be, and the kids are loving it. So thank you. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? That motion carries unanimously. And we're very excited about the cafeteria coming out from Phase 4. I ran into Miss Patty recently, and she could not be more thrilled, the cafeteria manager out there.
And Terry Whitaker.
Yes, I was eyeing her in the back of the room there. Final budget amendments, next item on the agenda. This is to reconcile our budget from 11 and 12, Mr. Superintendent.
I'm pleased to bring to you this evening basically two documents. I'm asking for your final approval of the final budget amendments. Then there's also a resolution that you need to approve that is sent on to the Commissioner of Education. Both of those are attached to this agenda item, so I'm requesting school board approval of the final budget amendments for 2011-2012.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the final budget amendments 2011-2012, and I do want to make sure, Mrs. Dow, if you can add to that, we're also approving the resolution to be sent forward. It's the resolution determining revenues and millages levied. Any board discussion? It's kind of a matter of fact there. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. In similar theme, the annual financial report.
I'm also pleased to request approval this evening of the superintendent's annual financial report and the report of financial data to the Commissioner of Education for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2012.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the annual financial report, which for the public's knowledge is simply just, it's like turning in your final checkbooks so that everyone can see the ledgers, right? Basically. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. Tax anticipation notes resolution. Mr. Superintendent, we'd like to go ahead and pay the bills before we have all the monies in.
It would be a good thing not to run out of money. And TANS is used as a bridge as we really await for the revenue flow to begin in November. Greg showed you earlier that our carry forward funds have decreased because we've used them to ease some of the pain in our budget reductions over the last couple of years. And while we still have a healthy reserve, we're at about 6%, a little bit more than 6% reserve as we sit here today. That's not enough to get us into November. So we borrow money to make that bridge, thus the TANs. So I'm requesting school board approval of the issuance of the tax anticipation notes for 2012-2013 school year, not to exceed $19 million.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve the tax anticipation notes resolution. Any board discussion? I know you may have noticed that some years we have to borrow more than others, and that's really directly related to those carryovers. So the more carryover we bring, the fewer dollars we borrow, the less carryover we bring. Is that fair? Yeah.
Madam Chairman?
Yes.
In the interest of time, I won't spend the 20 minutes on the soapbox that I want to here, but this is ridiculous. And I don't know who in Tallahassee thinks it's a good idea to force school districts to borrow money to get us through the first 2 months of the year, knowing that our enrollment is not going to drop 80%. Again, I said I wasn't going to on a soapbox. I'm not going to, but I just absolutely hate that we have to do this, and I'm going to continue to hate it.
Okay, we appreciate you being on record on that. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? And motion carries unanimously. Personnel action as amended.
And I'm pleased to bring to you this evening the personnel action form and its amendment for board approval.
So moved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded that we approve personnel action as amended. Board discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries unanimously. The next item is citizen comment. Oh, we do have some cards. Thank you so much. Thank you. And I just want to mention that most times, first off, your citizen comments are crucial to the improvement of the school district, and most times your remarks will be listened to without comments from the board or superintendent. It doesn't mean we're not listening to them, but it might mean we need to do a little research or we need to find out some information. We will get back to you with an answer, which is why we ask you to fill out these cards so we have your contact information. Mrs. Dow, which one was the first one submitted? Oh, they came in together. Okay, then I'll go alphabetically. Ruth Bromberg, please. And Ms. Bromberg is speaking on the issue of bus stop safety. Welcome, and thank you for coming tonight.
Good evening. My name is Ruth Bromberg. I'm a full-time resident of Charlotte County. And obviously, I have no children attending school presently in Charlotte County. I do have adult children and grandchildren. All of them were bused at some time during their school careers. So I understand the safety concerns parents have for their children while they are waiting at bus stops. Of specific concern at this time are the bus stops along routes 74, 31, and 17. If the County Commission at their meeting on October 9th should approve the Colusa Green landfill in East Charlotte County off Route 74, somewhere between 400 and 500 additional very large trucks will be using those roads. That is in addition to the present usage by trucks from the dirt mines in the area and those trucks bypassing the weight station on I-75. Moreover, the applicants for the landfill have stated that the busiest times will be in the early morning hours. These kids along those routes must stand by the side of the road between the edge of the road and the swale, an area of about 3 feet deep. In the winter, when it is still dark, this will be particularly dangerous. The school board has a responsibility for the safety of these children, and I would respectfully request that the board officially oppose the landfill in the interest of protecting our children. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Bromberg. Next, Clark Kelly on the issue of pickup and drop-off safety. Mr. Kelly?
Thank you. It's Keller.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Well, I wrote that standing up. And I also like to say that I sat next to Ruth and she copied down everything I was going to say, so I'm not going to use this. I'm beating the same drum. I live on Washington Loop. My son has just started Punta Gorda Middle this year, but he spent the last 3 years at Sally Jones. And we used to, my wife and I used to kiddingly call the parent pickup line the green zone. He took the bus usually, so we weren't there that often, but there's a high fence, there's lines, there's cones, there's a police presence. That's a good thing. I mean, it's really a good thing. But I really think safety doesn't end at the parking lot. The school board, I guess, as the leadership here, tells these kids where to stand, when to stand. They provide the buses to pick them up. I think there's some responsibility there. And the tip of the iceberg is this. We've released 50 permits for dirt trucks in this town. You've all seen those trucks turn over on an interstate ramp. They're top heavy. I live on Washington Loop, which is 20 feet wide. Those trucks are 10 feet wide. That means for them to pass each other, coming and going, there is no room for error, and the kids are standing there. Now we're looking at these dump trailers, which are 3 times the size, far more dangerous. And I wish if you could just drive down 17 would be the one I would pick, through Cleveland, on any morning. There are so many kids there because the buses can't go into the trailer parks in the small subdivisions. And boys will be boys. They're in the street half the time. I'm always driving with my foot almost on the brake, going down the Circle K to get my coffee. So I don't know, I guess, is your counsel here, Mike? I don't, oh, I'm sorry. You're not Mike.
She's one of his associates.
Oh, he was no good anyway. I'm just kidding. No, I know Mike. I know him. I don't know if it is your deal to come out against a specific permit, but I do wish you would at least contact the board and say you're against any action that would precipitously increase heavy truck traffic during peak pickup hours, especially on these, we talk about haul routes for garbage trucks. These are haul routes for kids. This is where all the kids are. Washington Loop, Vermont Road, 17 in East County, that's it. I mean, and these trucks also come down the interstate, so they can get off earlier or later and impact other roads. But I do wish you would do something about that. And I'd like to be kept in the loop if you do decide. I know you don't really have a quorum tonight because, but anyway, Ian's involved with the project.
I understand.
And I have no problem with that. Ian's a damn good environmentalist. I don't have a problem with that at all. But you can't talk about it tonight, or at least vote on it tonight. But I'd like to find out what your plans are. This will be heard by the County Commission, I think, on the 9th of October. So before then, if just tell them that we need to be proactive here. We've waited way too long. These 50 permits should not have been issued, but they are. But at least we can slow down this rate of increase. So I appreciate that. Thank you.
We appreciate you bringing this to our attention. And typically what we would do is we would have some conversation at a board workshop to see what the board would like to do with that. So we'll let you know when we schedule that. Okay, thank you.
Madam Chairman, just for the record, obviously if there is any discussion, I will recuse myself from that because of my professional interest with the landfill.
Okay. We'll hold you to that. As will our attorney, who's not here, but Ms. Young will as well. Are there any other citizens, Ms. Dow? Any other citizens who wish to speak for the board tonight? All right. Attorney comment, Ms. Young. Okay. Board member comment, Mr. Vincent.
I have nothing.
Okay. Mrs. Miller.
I will just say I attended the retreat. That it was the Board of Directors retreat up in Orlando this past Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, and it was very informative. And they're supposed to come up with talking parts. You, of course, were there. Talking points about Amendments 3, 5, and 8. Another thing, they had a girl speaking, Becky Watson, and she and I have her title, Senior Manager, Instructional Development, Orange County School District, Reaching Under-Resourced Learners. And she brings up the point that she grew up as a homeless person. She lived in a kind of a campground and in a tent. And she said that the language of some of these students and what they understand in their standards vary, and some of us, when I was in the classroom, I would not have totally understood where they were coming from in some of their actions and that. And she's supposed to speak at our December, I believe, conference. They're looking into it. She was very good. It was good 3 days, very informative. And I believe that's it, Madam Chairman. Thank you.
Thank you. At this time, I would like to take a moment of personal privilege and congratulate Mr. Bob Seeger, who is here. Bob, if you could stand and wave. Mr. Seeger is your new school board elect member who will be taking my seat up here at the dais when I have chosen to retire. He'll be taking over November the 20th. And I don't think we've had the opportunity because we haven't had a formal meeting, but congratulations, Mr. Seeger. And I'm going to be bringing him around the district to introduce him to people. So just wanted to point him out so you know who he is. Next I have is board workshop on the 25th of this month, which is Tuesday morning from 8:30 to 10:30. We will get Mr. Vincent out. He has another appointment later that afternoon, but we really must discuss the superintendent evaluation process and documents. So that's the first item, and there may be a few other items that we add to it. We'll see if we add this topic to that workshop. So I want to have everyone mark their calendars for that. Mr. Superintendent, do you have any comments tonight?
Just want to remind folks that our new CCPS surplus store is open on Carmelita. You can drive down Carmelita past Punta Gorda Middle School and you will see the sign for the surplus store. Great deals on technology in particular. but there's a reading center there for kids, washer, dryer. If you want to have a little bit of entertainment, go to our website under Breaking News and take a look at the video that is there, produced by 5th grade students at Meadow Park Elementary School. It's a hoot.
Truly special student.
Truly, yes.
His
Very
daughter's
gifted
involved.
future news anchor. But you'll enjoy the video. But there's good bargains if you're in the market for a 6-year-old laptop.
Yeah.
We have them. And then finally, Charlotte High School has been awarded the Cambridge International School status. They are now offering advanced courses for our students under the Cambridge International title. It's an advanced program recognized by colleges as being college level work. And we have our other 2 high schools are looking very closely at also coming in under that same umbrella. So that's good news for us. That's it for me.
All right. Then if there's nothing else to come before the board, this meeting is adjourned.